Hong Kong Stratton, Philippines, Hong Kong
So unless you wish to go the other way, to Singapore, thence to Colombo, thence to Cape Town, thence to Buenos Aires, and thence to New York.
Take towns, all of them, especially New York. Now, you take a town like New Rochelle.
I wouldn't know, but there is a cattle boat.
Cattle boat? Oh, no, I did that once, and the only person who'd speak to me was my dog. No, I think we better stay right here and...
But when we left Manila, they told us we'd have no trouble. The man said there'd be plenty of ships.
Mr. Hunter, sir.
It's her, Andrew. It's she.
Regrettable, unexpected development in international situation has complicated our schedules, madam.
But surely there must be room for 2 more. We'll pay anything.
I beg your pardon. I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. It happens I have a stateroom booked at the Mendoa. For your consideration?
How much?
$4,000 American.
You must think we're crazy.
I was at Shanghai during the bombardment. You have no idea how ghastly it is. The Mendoa sails tonight.
Is this man annoying you?
No, he's funny. He wants $4,000 and we're Scotch.
Marcia.
I only tried to be of service, madam.
Well, how do you like that profiteer? $4,000? I don't blame you for not taking him up. Listen, maybe I can help you.
You only could. We've got to get back to Seattle. We're willing to pay anything that's reasonable.
I'm afraid that's out. I couldn't even bribe him to let me work my way back as a stoker. Said they used oil burners.
Well, then how did you think you could help us?
Well, in the week we have to wait, I could show you this cockeyed town. Spell of the Orient, magic of forbidden streets, out-of-the-way corners tourists seldom see.
I recognize you. You've been following us ever since we arrived from Manila.
Yeah. How did you like Manila?
Marcia.
Yes, Andy. I bet the Pumpkin Center girls can't wait till you work your way home.
Come, Marcia.
Oh, but listen, we're both Americans on a strange planet, and if you'll only
Let me call you a rickshaw, sir. It's a hot day. You can go home and go to bed.
Did you hear what she said to me, Andrew? Pumpkin Center.
I shouldn't worry. Lots of people will be willing to sell their passage for a very moderate profit. I suggest you watch the classified columns in the papers.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. I could run out right now and get...
do. Come on, Andy.
Good day, Mrs. Osborne.
Osborne? Oh, that girl with her, is that her daughter? Well, come on, I've got to know.
Found her?
Well, now listen, George, if you're making any
Beg pardon, Inspector. You wish to see me, sir?
Yes, come with me.
Spec? Come on, Andrew, let's get out.
When's the next ferry for Oakland, pal?
I don't know. I never been there.
I know, but everybody's going places. I want to go to Oakland.
Osborne.
It's Osborne, sir.
Look.
Yes, sir.
Look, tell him she's tall.
She's tall, blonde,
beautiful. And the name is Osborne.
There's no one of that name. Thank you, sir. Registered at the Peak, sir.
Oh, well, go on. Keep trying. Try all the hotels.
There's only one left, sir. Of course, they may be stopping with friends at some private dwelling, sir. I fancy you'd never find them then, sir. Edgewater Hotel. Are you there? I say, by any chance, have you an American lady, a Mrs. Osborne, stop? You have. From Seattle, Washington?
But that's the one. What about the girl?
With her niece. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Niece, huh?
Sir, at the Edgewater Hotel, sir, in Kowloon. Oh, but really, sir, I shouldn't.
Now, Andrew, never mind your grim forebodings. Weren't you ever young yourself?
I couldn't say, sir. But a young lady you've never even met.
Oh, but this is different. We're 2 Americans stranded in a foreign port. Look, Andrew, I'm no drugstore cowboy. I wouldn't do this in Philadelphia. But this is the Orient. Hong Kong, she may need a protector.
Our local constabulary is very adequate, sir.
Yeah, the cops. Well, look, never mind. Get out my white dinner jacket and a boiled shirt. We're dining at the Edgewater tonight,
Yes,
Andrew,
sir.
old boy, old kid.
Everything okay, sir?
No, where are all the guests in this boarding house? Are they on strike?
Oh, no, sir. White people do not eat this early.
White people? What do you think I am?
You do something.
Look in the classified section, dear. That official said we might find something there.
That's what I'm doing, Andy, but I'm afraid the morning papers would really be better.
Nothing much in the evening editions.
Well, of all the... I think we'd better change our table.
Andy, I should say not. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction.
and they don't even glance in his direction. Did you hear me? I don't see how anyone can eat when we don't even know when we're getting back to civilization.
Andy, look. Corn on the cob. Why, I thought you could only get that back home. I'll have a double order.
Very sorry, we don't carry same.
But that man over there...
He gets him special. He knows cook on American gunboat. He bring it, we cook it.
Waiter. My compliments to the young lady. It is indeed a privilege and an honor to share a Native American dish with a fellow countrywoman, especially one so...
Waiter, I don't believe I'll have the corn after all. It's really a disgusting way to eat, like playing a harmonica. You get butter in your ears.
Charlie, come here. Bring me some more.
It's delicious. You like plenty, huh?
Well, every true American goes for corn on the cob. That's how you tell them.
Yes, sir.
I'll order for both of us. You keep on looking at the ads.
Andy, look. I'll bet he's a beautiful soldier.
Personal. Lance Corporal who saw Governess in rickshaw front of Hongkong, Shanghai... Front of Hong Kong, Shanghai Bank would greatly value introduction. Reply here. Respectful.
May I suggest most delightful delicacy?
What is it?
Dan tou jai, cooked with bamboo shoots, water chestnuts, and sprinkle of almonds. I'm sure you like.
Sounds perfectly delicious.
I beg your pardon, you dropped this.
Oh, thank you.
I'm certainly glad he's gone. What's the matter?
Oh, nothing, Andy.
I want to run an ad in tomorrow morning's edition. Personal. Now get this, big type, Edgewater Hotel breakfast. Will young lady who passed up corn on cob permit young man with buttered ears, to say he won't rest till he makes acquaintance, ? Intentions, honorable. I said honorable, no question mark. Andrew, I don't know whether I'm most of which, a sap or a heel.
Really, sir?
It isn't as if I didn't know any better. Trying to pick up a strange girl like some cheap mutt. No wonder a nice kid like that got sore.
Yes, sir.
You were right. You warned me. Mighty lucky she didn't call the cops.
She's probably kind-hearted, sir.
Oh, she's wonderful. Well, I've killed my chances now, acting like a high school hinky-dink. Even if I meet her sometime back in the States, I'll never be able to face her. Oh, well, I'll forget about her. That's what I'll do. Put her out of my mind. I probably wouldn't have liked her anyway. She didn't have to be so snooty. After all, we're both from the same country, aren't we? Hey, who does she think she is?
Say, sir.
That old battle axe always with her.
Open door. Chop, chop.
Oh, yes, John, set it down over there.
Oh, Andrew, what's the big idea? I told you I didn't want any...
There's no gain in starving just because we've made a bally ass of ourselves. Since you refused to dine out, sir, I took the liberty of sending the houseboy for a snack. Come on, sir. Come along. Sit down, sir.
Well, it won't do any good.
Well, what are you waiting for? That's all we wanted. Now, sir, how about a spot of tea, sir, to pick you up? Or some kippers and scones, sir. That's right, sir. And pickled eggs, sir. Guaranteed 100 years old. Ah, quite a delicacy, sir, if you've a stomach for it. Europeans don't generally, but then I thought a race which enjoys hot dogs might.
Andrew, look!
What is it, sir?
She's answered me.
Answered?
Yeah, look at this in the paper. She's answered my ad. What did I tell you? Oh, Andrew, you did her a great injustice.
Address MC Edgewater Hotel. Oh, but really, sir, this is most unusual.
Oh, never mind. A letter a day for 5 days. Andrew, get the typewriter.
Oh, but really, sir, you should eat.
Eat at a time like this? No, wait. Typewriter's too impersonal. Better make it longhand.
Why shouldn't, sir, if I were you?
Oh, why not?
Some people can read character from handwriting, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I never thought about that.
This has gone far enough. I'll not do another blasted thing for you.
Oh, what the devil's that?
Only your neighbor, sir. Captain McNeil Fraser.
An amiable mug. Gave me the fisheye the other day when I introduced myself.
A quarrelsome gentleman, sir. Will that be all, sir?
No, Andrew, what am I going to write about?
That shouldn't be difficult for you, sir.
Oh, well, come on, give me a hint. You've worked for nice people, you are nice people, and you've lived in the Orient for years. Now, what would be likely to interest her?
Well, sir, if I were a young man traveling alone in a foreign exotic part of the globe,
Yeah?
I wouldn't put anything in writing, sir. Thank you, sir.
Well, that's silly. I've got to write a letter. She asked for it in the ad, a letter a day for 5 days. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, that guy's a big help.
No, sir. Absolutely not.
Oh, shut up. Well, let's see. Dear Moon Princess. That's no good.
I tell you, you're a disgrace. I don't propose to put up with it.
Oh, well, neither do I. I pay enough rent in this dump to get a little peace and quiet.
It's reached the point where I'm ashamed to call him my brother. Hanging about gambling places, chucking money away like a drunken sailor. You're a disgrace to the service. No, sir. Not another penny.
But I tell you, I'm in a frightful jam. If you'll just help me out this once more.
No.
If the War Office finds out, I'm liable to be cashiered. Think what that would mean to the old man, and to you.
You should have followed that sooner.
Hey, open up.
Get behind that screen.
Look here,
Do
Doctor.
as I tell you. I don't want people to know you're here.
Hey, open up.
What do you want?
Oh, I was just wondering, Captain,
Yes?
if you could loan me your boot jack.
Good morning, miss.
Good morning. Will you look and see if there's a letter there for me?
Letter? I don't think so, miss.
Now, who in the world could be writing to us here? We're only supposed to stop over a couple of days.
I just thought maybe there might
I
be...
declare, Marcia, I don't know what we're going to do. I wish now we'd bought that man's passage even at $4,000. If this place is attacked...
Now, Auntie, it's not going to be attacked in the next hour and a half. So let's make the best of it. See Hong Kong while we may. The spell of the Orient, magic of out-of-the-way places, forbidden streets where tourists never go.
Pardon, missy. Lick your lady.
Oh, thank you. Come on, Auntie.
Oh, I don't know, Marcia. At a time like this, to go traipsing around out-of-the-way places...
We'll never get another chance.
We really should be trying to get passage on a boat. I don't care what you say. This place is likely to be bombarded at any moment. And if your father finds that we've been stranded here, he'll have one of his spells.
Maybe you're right, Auntie. I tell you what we'll do. I'll get in a rickshaw and go over to the consulate. You go upstairs and get on the phone.
Phone? What for? Who will I phone to?
Anybody, everybody. The bank, the papers, all the other hotels. See who might have a couple of tickets.
But if you're going out, I really should go with you.
Nonsense, darling. I'll be all right. Call every number you can think of. This is China, where one never knows who's got a couple of tickets up one's sleeve. Have fun on the phone. Up, please.
Good morning, miss. Where to this morning?
Oh, anywhere. I'll leave it to him.
Taiguni, Gorny, and...
Oh, if my aunt should come down, will you tell her I went over to the American consulate?
I sure will, miss. Gigi.
Rather exotic, eh, what?
Yeah, all right.
Mind if I sit down?
No, help yourself.
You don't remember me, do you, Mr. Hunter? My name's Beatty. I met you at a shepherd's bar in Cairo.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry. I've got a very poor memory for faces, and after I've been in a bar for a while.
Oh, of course, of course.
Well, will you have a drink, Mr. Beatty? Or maybe I should say Major or Viscount or something. You Britishers go in for titles.
Thanks, I will. It's just Beatty.
Waiter.
Sling, please.
Make it 2.
So you're going from here to Hong Kong, eh?
Yeah? Well, how did you know?
Well, you told me about Cairo.
Did I? I must have said an awful lot of things in that bar.
Well, nothing incriminating, anyhow. Know anyone in Hong Kong?
Not unless they're having an Elks convention.
I have a cousin stationed up there, a chap named McNeil Fraser. He's in the service. Rum sort of mug. You might like him. I'll give you a letter.
Mighty kind of you.
Well, he's gruff at first. Barks at strangers. But he won't bite. He'll show you a good time. Promise me you'll look him up.
Sure, I'd be glad to.
Oh, that's a dainty little thing, isn't it? Belonged to the Count of Kurdistan. He presented it to Lord Roberts when he made his famous march from Kandahar to the Khyber Pass. Said to have killed over 100 men. There's a bit of dried blood there on the blade.
Well, let's hope he just cut himself shaving. Hey, look, there's my initials, J.H., right on the blade.
Well, that's odd. Oh, it's just a coincidence, I suppose. But why don't you keep it as a souvenir?
Oh, no, I couldn't do that, really. Thanks.
Oh, go on, take it, old chap, I insist. Give it to McNeil Fraser when you give him the letter. He's a collector of junk like that. Well, I'll be seeing you sometime. Goodbye.
Oh, hey, wait a minute, you forgot your drink.
I say, sir, you do have a good bit of luggage here, sir.
Oh, just the first batch. The rest will be around this afternoon. Listen, Jeeves, do you work for all the members of this club?
Yes, sir. I sort of valet the gentlemen, sir, on this floor and on the floor above, sir. This Chung here cleans the rooms.
Yeah, well, do you know a Captain Fraser?
Captain McNeil Fraser. Yes, sir. His rooms are directly above, sir.
Hey, what's the matter with him?
I say, what's the meaning of this? Some superstition, sir, in connection with this knife. I can't quite get this thing going. All right, now, come on, clear out. I say that's enough. Yeah, run along, will you?
Strange people, these Orientals. Hey, I wonder if he ever saw this knife before.
I shouldn't worry about it, sir, if I were you. Foreigners are crazy, you know, sir.
Yeah. What do you mean, foreigner?
Quite batty, sir, without exception.
Sometimes I think you're right. I'm going up to see Captain Fraser.
Captain McNeil Fraser? Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Parts his name in the middle, doesn't he? Well, look, Jeeves, you get everything all lined up, and don't forget to lock the door when you go out. Now, I don't trust that Chinese houseboy. He looks like a killer.
He not only looks it, sir. He is.
Sorry, please.
Take it easy, pal.
Come in.
Captain Fraser?
McNeil Fraser.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. My name's Hunter, sir. I'm an American.
So I see. The houseman will direct you to your consulate. Was that all?
Oh, no, I have a letter of introduction from your cousin in Singapore. I met him first in the...
Where is it?
Oh, there it is. Hope it says something nice.
If you don't mind.
Sure. That's a curio your cousin asked me to show you. It's got my initials on it.
My dear sir, to the best of my knowledge, I have no cousin named Beatty.
Have no... You mean the fellow who wrote that letter was just...
I never heard of him in my life.
Oh, how do you like that? He didn't look like a screwball either. Or did he? Oh, maybe it was his idea of a joke.
Hardly a joke. This is the third peculiar letter I've had from strangers within a week.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Sorry I bothered you. My intentions were okay. Oh, that knife.
I think I'd bet after it for you till you leave Hong Kong. It might keep you out of difficulties.
Oh, but really, sir, I don't see...
Sorry, I must insist. Take my word for it, sir. You're a foreigner in a strange outpost with a war going on. Many things may have meanings you don't understand. But I'm in the army, and those things are my job. Think that covers it? Good day, sir.
Good day. Nice, friendly little bird.
I'll count 3. If you don't march out with your hands up, I'll fire. 1, 2.
Captain Fraser, sir? Captain Fraser? Is anything wrong, sir?
Come in, it's open.
Beg your pardon, sir. I'm afraid something's happened, sir, to Captain McNeil Fraser.
What do you mean, happened?
I thought I heard a shot, sir. And when I went up to investigate, I received no reply.
Yeah?
I think we ought to bash in the door, sir. But you understand, sir, I'd prefer having someone go with me.
Oh, well, now, wait a minute, Andrew. I heard that shot, too. Probably just a backfire in the street. Listen, can you imagine what that guy'd do if you bashed down his door?
Really, sir? It's our duty to investigate. However, if you'd rather not go with me, sir, I can go alone.
All right, if you put it that way. We'll just knock once.
Yes,
There'll
sir.
be no bashing down of doors, because I don't want that guy
Yes,
jumping down my throat.
Hey, wait a minute. Oh, maybe I'm a coward, but that captain's got me buffaloed.
I think I understand, sir.
警察官話：呢隻美國會人種食樓上打死人嘛，即刻嚟啫嚇！好啦。
Has it ever struck you, sir, that the captain seems far more of a Prussian than a Britisher?
Prussian? Ah, don't be silly, Andrew. Even in your army, you must have a couple of grouches. I know there are in mine.
I suppose you're right, sir. Great heavens, sir. Look, I thought you said the door was locked. I couldn't budge it a moment ago, sir. And now it's wide open.
Yeah, so I see. Well, come on. Cold as a mackerel.
Murdered, sir?
Dead anyway. You better get on the phone and call the police. I'll look around.
Yes, sir.
Body here?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Dead, sir. Knife wound, very clean.
McNeil Fraser, poor chap.
Hey, just a minute. How did you know about this?
Someone telephoned from here.
Oh, but nobody's had time to telephone.
Really? Who are you?
I'm Jeff Hunter. I live in the apartment downstairs, but...
Oh, yes. You're the bounder that insults ladies.
Look, I didn't insult anybody, but that's got nothing to do with...
What are you doing here?
I told you, I live downstairs. I heard a shot. What sounded like it?
What time?
Well, it was just midnight. I remember. I looked at my watch.
Oh, you took that precaution, eh? What did you do next?
Nothing for the moment. Thought it might be a car backfiring in the street, or... Well, a captain here murdering his grandmother. I've been in enough jams in this joint.
How about you?
I heard the shot too, sir, though I didn't notice the time. I rushed up here immediately, sir, but the door was locked. I ran down to get Mr. Hunter here, sir, to investigate with me, and when we came back, the door was wide open. Most irregular, don't you think, sir? This is what we found.
How well did you know McNeil Fraser?
Oh, I didn't really know him, but I did have a letter of introduction from a friend of his, a fellow named Beatty.
Is Beatty in Hong Kong to vouch for you?
No, I met him in Cairo, then Singapore.
I see,
Hello, what's up?
Too bad, old man.
I'm sorry, this is a terrible shock. I'd no idea. I dropped in for a word with him.
Yes, I understand. The thing to do now is to find the bounder that killed him. What time did you say you heard the struggle?
I didn't hear a struggle. I heard a shot, and that was at midnight.
You're quite sure it was midnight?
What would I be lying for? I didn't kill him.
Now, I want you all to listen carefully. This is no ordinary murder, for reasons best known to myself. For the best interests of the Empire, the news of the captain's death must be kept out of the papers. Lieutenant McNeil Fraser?
I think I know what you mean.
And the rest of you?
You can count on me, sir.
I'll forget it if you will.
We'll question the club employees later. You can claim the remains privately tomorrow. You can go now. You an American?
Yeah.
Know anyone at your consulate here?
Undersecretary named Watson.
Good. That's all. You're a most important witness. You'll be watched. You try to leave Hong Kong and you'll be locked up.
I'd sure like to meet you in Philadelphia sometime.
Hello there, Inspector. I hear you have a murder.
Beatty! Boy, oh boy, am I glad to see you.
Beatty?
Here he is, Inspector. This is Mr. Beatty, who gave me that letter of introduction.
My name's James Haskell. I've never met you before in my life.
Home now, Missy. 19 cents, please. Go out.
Marcia, where in the world have you been?
Oh, just riding around.
Riding around? I thought you were going to the consul. But never mind, darling. I have the most wonderful news. Mr. Corneater.
Oh, look. He's being followed. Those are detectives.
I knew he was the criminal type.
Any mail for me?
What name, sir?
Mortimer J. Blenkinsop.
Blenkinsop.
No mail here for anyone but that name, sir.
Oh.
What's the meaning of all that hocus pocus?
I don't know, but I'm afraid he's in trouble.
Afraid? I'm sure of it. But oh, Marcia, that was a real inspiration of yours, and to think I didn't want to do it.
Do what? What do you mean?
Telephoned all over the city. I had to call at least 40 places, but finally I got passage.
Passage?
On a ship. We're leaving here. We're sailing tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow? Oh, but Auntie...
Oh, to think it was your idea. Aren't you thrilled? Come along, darling. We'll pack.
Gracious lady, thanks a million for not recognizing me today. In spite of our precautions, however, I couldn't shake those flat feet. Out the street now, watching the building where I live. Watching the building where I live.
Hey, what? Sit down. No outcry, if you please.
Who are you? What do you want?
I have come to give you some advice, my friend. I believe you told Inspector Bray that the murder occurred exactly at midnight.
Oh, what about it?
Are you very sure of that?
Well, sure, I'm sure. I looked at my watch.
Could it not have been wrong, my friend?
Oh, no, not this watch. It belonged to my Uncle Ed. He was a conductor on the B&O.
Oh, nevertheless, you are no longer certain about the hour.
What are you talking about? I just told you
My advice to you, my friend, is that you change your testimony. The murder took place at 11:30 instead of 12.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, as you say. When next you see the inspector, you tell him you have thought it over. And it may have been 11:30. No?
And suppose I don't?
Oh. The consequences will be most regrettable. The murder was committed with this knife. Your knife, my friend.
Where did you get that?
Is it not sufficient that I have it?
But the captain borrowed it from me. As a matter of fact, he practically confiscated it from me. I had nothing to do with it.
That's ridiculous. And even if true, impossible to prove. This is your weapon, my friend. It has killed a man. It may yet hang another.
Oh, now listen here, sugar. I don't know what your racket is, but you're not holding all the aces. I've got one up my sleeve, too. Complete innocence and a clear conscience. And I'm gonna gamble on that, thank you very much. I'm sick and tired of being annoyed and persecuted. I'm just old-fashioned Yankee enough not to stand for it any longer. So you can go crawling back to your cellar and tell all the goons. Now, good night. Don't hang around.
I warned you.
Oh. Andrew! Andrew! Oh, for the love of Pete, if I ever get back to America or even Los Angeles, Andrew! Where in blazes are you? Who's there?
It's McNeil Fraser. I've got to see you.
Well, I'm locked in.
Oh. I tell you, there's a key in the lock. Shall I unlock it?
Shelley, unlock it. Of course unlock it. What do you think I'm squawking for? I've been yelling my head off for the last 10 minutes trying to get out of this place. I couldn't get either in or out or any way out.
That's lucky for me. I was afraid I wouldn't find you. I've come to ask a great favor.
Yeah? Hey, what's the matter with you? You look kind of pale. Come on in. Sit down. Take it easy. Here, you want a little drink?
No, thank you.
Oh, well, maybe you're right. Okay, what's on your mind, Lieutenant? Maybe I should say Lieutenant.
Just plain mister for subalterns. We get very little more dignity than we do pay. Look here. You testified that it was precisely midnight when you heard
The shot, yeah, that was my story. Well, it happens to be the truth.
Naturally. As a matter of fact, I'm here to ask you to alter that testimony. I'm begging it as a favor to one who suffered a cruel loss. Could you make it 11:30?
Look, I don't get this. This is mighty funny coming from you, Lieutenant. What's the idea?
I'm not able to give you my reasons in full. All I can say is that at midnight I was playing cards with some fellas. They wouldn't be likely to forget the hour.
Oh, but that's fine. You've got witnesses, an alibi. What more do you want? What do you want to change that for?
I propose confessing at once to the police that it was I who murdered Duncan. They know I was in debt to him, that we'd quarreled about money, and that through his death, I and only I could profit.
Oh, but that's ridiculous. Why
do
should
this
you...
thing for me? Give me a chance to confess and end this whole horrible business here and now. Don't you see the honor of our names at stake?
Oh, so you change it by being convicted of murder. Well, that's fine.
Do I have to tell you? My poor brother was involved with foreign agents. Spies, if you like.
Spy?
I can't think how he got mixed up with them. He must have been crazy, but he was trying to break away.
Oh, I get it. He stopped playing ball, they got sore, and just naturally bumped him off.
You've got to do this thing for me. That'd be a horrible scandal, and my people in England would never get over it. They couldn't endure the disgrace.
Oh, now, just a second. Hold on. I feel mighty sorry for you. Sorry for your brother. It's a tough spot, but I've got a little tradition of my own, with ideas about perjury.
But you're not under oath.
But I will be. They'll drag me into court and make me raise my right hand. And I'll be swearing your life away, and you'll hang for it. Just to protect your brother who's already dead. Well, it isn't going to happen that way, that's all. Not while I'm conscious. Gee, I feel like a better man already. Who is it?
Well, good evening, my boy. This is a surprise. You're keeping strange company.
Oh, I just dropped in for a chat. You see, I thought that...
Just, of course. We understand your feelings. Better leave the sleuthing to us, though. Eh, Haskell?
I believe you wanted at barracks anyhow. Something about sealed orders. Battalion leaving at dawn.
Is it action? Where? Tell me. Libya? Palestine?
I don't know, but that's where your job lies, my lad.
Right, I'll be off. Good evening, Mr. Hunter.
I don't get this.
Ramsey, follow the lieutenant. See that he gets safely to barracks without being molested. The hounds that killed his brother won't stop at this.
You're an old wifey, Bray. You'll be reading too much fiction. No harm's going to come to that kid.
I'll run this end of it.
I think the inspector's right. They're working in a gang. Now, listen, I ought to tell you what that kid said. For his own good,
Who asked you?
We'll conduct the investigation, Mr. Hunter.
Okay, if that's the way you feel about it. This isn't my league. I was only trying to... Oh, what am I talking to you for, anyway?
Close the door. Now, listen. Didn't you tell me last night that it was midnight when you heard that shot?
That's what I said, yeah.
That's right. Go ahead, Bray. Antagonize the fellow.
We'll never get anywhere at this rate. Here, let me, will you? You were naturally a little bit excited at the time, and under such circumstances, men have been known to make mistakes.
Mistake? The only mistake I ever made was buying you a drink, you double-crosser.
You never bought me a drink. I'd quit that tack if I were you, unless you want a padded cell. People will think you're a lunatic.
That's right. They'll think he's in the Secret Service. Come on. Clear out and give the police a chance.
You persist in this absurd notion that it was midnight when you heard the shot?
I most certainly do. Hey, listen, what is this anyway? First a dame, then a half-baked second lieutenant, and now you.
Isn't this your knife?
Oh, where did you get it?
Just answer my question.
Sure it is. You gave it to me.
Is this the letter you brought the deceased from his cousin Beatty in Singapore?
You ought to know.
Captain never had a cousin. We know nobody named Beatty except an Irish sergeant in the Lancers, and he's never been in Singapore. Neither have I. Do your stuff, Watson.
Jeffrey Hunter, I arrest you for the murder of Duncan McNeil Fraser. Anything you say will be used against you.
Now, wait a minute, fellas. Let's talk this thing over.
Don't allow fire!
Don't shoot him, you fool. We need him alive.
My car! Come on, jump in my car.
Faster.
Go for him.
Shoot at his tires. I'm insured. A Scotsman would think of that. What does he say? He says he went that way. Come on.
No, I don't want the bar. I want the desk. Phoebe, that goes in the hat box. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Nora, will you hurry up and close that for me, will you please? Yes, this is Mrs. Osborne, suite 319. Will you have a man come up for my trunks? And I want a taxicab at 3:30 sharp. Now, be sure, 3:30 sharp. Now, don't forget. Yes, there you are. Now, oh, where is Marcia? Where is that girl? Marcia, will you stop mooning and help me? Please, we've only got 2 hours before we sail. What have you there?
Auntie, we can't sail.
Can't? What is this?
It's from him. He's in trouble in hiding. Baby heard.
There is more in my heart than I dare tell. How long has this been going on?
Well, it's only a second letter. I told him he could write.
You told him?
Yes, just for a lark, a gag. Well, I didn't see any harm in it.
Well, I'm certainly glad we're sailing today. Wait till your father hears about this.
Oh, but Aunt...
No. Now, not another word. I'm getting you out of this insane place just as fast as I can pack and hustle you off to that ship. If I have anything to say about it, you'll never see that corn eater again. And you'll never get another letter. Hurry, please. We're leaving sooner than I expected.
Another letter, Missy.
Oh, do we hurry? I'll catch you later.
Many times, thank you.
Good day, Mr. Hunter. I'm glad you came over. Beastly error we made. Can't think what got into us.
I suppose we all make mistakes.
Not characteristically. Not in this department. However, in spite of the Secret Service, we caught the guilty man.
Well, that's a load off my mind.
There's just one little detail that needs to be straightened out to clear your name of all suspicion.
Oh, I thought it was cleared.
Substantially, yes. Merely the hour of the murder. Now, if you were not so positive it was exactly midnight...
But I am positive. I've been through too much on that point to give it up now. It was exactly midnight. Not 11:30, not 12:15, but midnight.
Righto. If you insist, I shan't press it.
It doesn't make the slightest difference.
Chum?
One is sent for the prisoner, sir?
Yes, yes, of course.
Come in.
McNeil Fraser, Sahib. John Woo Fish.
Are these the prisoners?
Exactly. He murdered his brother for money with the aid of this wretched coolie whom he bribed.
Oh, no, Inspector. You're way off. We're right back where we started. I know this kid didn't do it. He told me.
He told you he wanted to confess. A very clever stunt. Mr. McNeil Fraser, isn't it a fact that you had no alibi for midnight? You were in your brother's rooms. But that you did have one for half an hour earlier. You were gambling with your crowd. Now suppose...
Well, I suppose. I'm not trying to deny it. Duncan was my benefactor. He brought me up. But you'd bring up a trained dog or a prisoner in a concentration camp. All he knew was discipline, and discipline meant punishment. Even as a kid, I never had a penny, and out here he treated me like a coolie. I hated him. Finally, I got in a jam, small wonder. He not only refused to help me, he threatened me with exposure and a court-martial. I went to him to plead for the last time.
You're a disgrace to the service, and a disgrace to me. The Fraser tartan. Take it off! Get behind that drape.
Now, look here, Duncan.
Do as I say. I don't want you found here. Come out of there. I'll count 3, and if you don't march out with your hands up, I'll fire. 1, 2...
I killed him. Now let's get it over with.
What about this Chinese nobleman here?
Oh, I knew I was no match for Duncan, so I hired the blighter to creep in and create a row.
But midnight, 11:30.
Of course it was midnight, you fool. How you swallowed that spy story. If it hadn't been for your precious New England ethics, I'd have got you to switch the testimony. But no, you're so righteous.
That'll do. Show him out.
He's wrong about one thing. I don't come from New England.
Inspector, I must see you at once.
Madam Rangel, what are you doing here?
I have come to confess.
Confess?
That boy did not commit the murder. He is only trying to save his brother's name. I first met Duncan Fraser in Peking. He was attaché to British legation. I was married to Boris Rangel, a white Russian who was a refugee from the Bolsheviks. Oh, Boris was a very good man. Much too good for me. But also he was poor and getting old. And he was very strict and very devout. In fact, everything my very handsome captain was not. So for his sweet sake, I leave my poor husband, who is now dead from a broken heart. I follow my captain to Hong Kong. But now he is among his own people. They are all white and very exclusive. And he say he can have nothing to do with your Asian woman anymore. Might cause him some disgrace. So, I go to his apartment on the night of the murder, and to be not recognized, I wear a long military cloak. So if I am seen, people will think perhaps I am his brother. The houseman, Chung, he is in my pay, but I do not think he realizes that I mean to murder the captain. My plan, of course, is to shoot him as one would shoot a pig, when Chung will throw over the lamp. And Duncan will turn his back. Then I will shoot. But when I see on the desk the knife, I think, that will be better. There will be no noise. But there was a shot. Duncan fired a shot in the dark, but he missed. And I killed him. I killed him. So, now you have your criminal, and you can stop all your blundering investigations.
I suppose you have an alibi for 11:30, too.
Yes, that is right. But none for midnight. And when Shang told me that the knife belonged to a simple American...
You decided to blackmail a simple American. Charming.
Ah, but you see, my conscience, what there is left of it, got the better of me. I could not let you suffer for my misdeeds.
A gallant effort, Madame Rangel. But it doesn't happen to be true. She didn't kill the captain.
I quite agree. It was that boy.
No. His confession was a lie, too.
Now, listen, Haskell. You've adopted an air of superiority ever since you were assigned to this investigation. I resent it. How the devil do you know all these things?
I know a good many things that you don't, Inspector. For one thing, I know why I was assigned to this case.
What are you driving at?
I happen to know who killed Major McNeil Fraser. Yes, his promotion came through the very day he was murdered. The guilty man is right here in this room. Watch that door. Let no one enter or leave. Do you understand?
Yes, Sahib. Well, now, wait a minute. If you've dragged me into here just to pin the rap on me again, sir, help me.
Aye, but you Americans are excitable, aren't you? No, my boy. The name of the murderer is Baron Eitel Bruno von Kopke, the cleverest spy operating in the Far East. Do you know him, Inspector?
Heard of him, of course.
Inspector Bray or Baron von Kopke, as you choose. In the name of His Majesty's government, I arrest you. First as a spy, second as the murderer of Major McNeil Fraser of the Royal Engineers.
You think you're very clever, Mr. Haskell.
No. The name's Beatty.
But Singapore.
And you, Madame Rangel, are to be congratulated on your daring ruse. That confession was a stroke of genius. It served as an admirable warning to your confederate that the hunt was up. A brilliant scheme. You would have been arrested, the inspector was to release you, and together the two of you would flee the colony. It's a pity such genius should go unrewarded. Come in, my boy.
It worked, I suppose.
Right. In case you're still worried about Duncan, let me assure you that he was no traitor but a hero. He sacrificed his life so that these two spies might be caught. Poor Hunter, I suppose you're wondering how you happen to be drawn into all this.
Yeah, I am.
Well, I'll explain. I must confess that at the beginning I doubted the Major's loyalty myself. In Singapore, I was masquerading as a renegade. That letter I gave you contained a cryptic proposition that we worked together in betraying England. Naturally, the Major, being loyal, thought you were a weird bird, too.
Get a doctor, Constable.
No use. He's gone. Oh, well, it'll save the colony the cost of a hanging.
No doubt poor Bray or Von Kopke was guilty in his heart. But the fact is they were all wrong. I killed the captain.
Hello, operator. Get me Mr. Watson at the American consulate. Hurry, please. That's quite all right, Nora. I can put that in the suitcase. Oh, are you the porter?
Hi.
Yes, that's the one, but be very, very careful of it. That's full of curios I had to buy for my brother, and if anything should happen to it...
Be careful, okay?
All right.
Hello, Mr. Watson. This is Marcia Calhoun at the Edgewater. There's a young American boy in town, and he's in terrible trouble. You've got to help him out.
What's his name? Hunter? You don't mean Jeff Hunter? Why, he's in no trouble. I just left him a few minutes ago at the Peninsula Club. Oh, you told him he could write. Listen, Miss Calhoun, he's kidding you. He didn't commit any murder. He's a mystery story writer. Why, was just using you as a guinea pig for one of his plots.
You mean he just wrote that to... Oh, but listen, Mr. Watson. I saw him yesterday, and he was being followed by two men.
I know who you mean. They're a couple of friends of his. He hangs out with them at the American bar. I know this is a little irregular, but would you like to get even? Oh, that's too bad. Oh, you don't want a sale? Well, who knows?
I want this in the stateroom.
I beg your pardon, Anne, but I'm quite sure that no heavy luggage will be allowed in the stateroom. The ship is so crowded with refugees.
You mean I'm a refugee? Oh, maybe I am. How exciting. Well, then just the hand luggage, please. Thank you, Fifi. Oh, Nora. Nora, come here. You've been a very great help to me. Here you are. Oh, you look a little hurt, Fifi.
Oh, I'm certainly glad I called you, Mr. Watson. Thanks. Goodbye.
Come, Marcia. And I must say, you've been very little help.
But, Auntie, I don't think we ought to go.
I never heard of such nonsense. Now, here's your hat.
Oh, but, Auntie... Auntie, I don't want...
Marcia!
Yes, Auntie.
Julia Osborne in Nice. Stateroom 55.
Is that the one? Not on my ship. Just a minute. Are you Mrs. Osborne?
Why, yes.
Oh, Doctor. What do you think?
Open your mouth and say, ah.
Well, of all the ridiculous...
That'll do, thank you. I'm afraid so, sir. Have you been eating Chinese rabbit?
Chinese rabbit, what the
I
very
tell you,
idea.
not on my ship. I'm not going to be quarantined in Guam for 6 months. Have you ever been in Guam?
No, I've never...
Sorry, ma'am. You can't sail with me.
I can't sail in
Shark,
Marshal.
bring that lady to shore.
I shall speak to the council. I shall write to my congressman about this whole matter.
Well, there's only one thing I'm worried about, Andrew.
What is that, sir?
Well, I may have admitted too much. You know, I don't know what sort of a person she is. She might not understand.
I warned you, sir.
Oh, well, sure, but you knew what my reasons were. I was only trying to meet her.
You made that fairly clear, sir. But admitting so much to a sheltered young lady, sir, who's never seen tragedy before in all her life.
Hey, who's that?
Perhaps I'd better go see, sir. Yes, miss.
Oh, Moon Princess! Gee, I'm delighted. Gosh, it's wonderful of you to come. Well, come in, Mrs. Osborne's beautiful niece. I don't know your name except that it's MC, but Rose by any other name would... Oh, you.
Did you write that letter?
Why, yes.
I killed the captain, huh?
Oh, but that was only a joke, Inspector. Well, I'm sorry, honey, to have done this to you, but you asked for it. You wanted to know whether I was an interesting guy, somebody worth knowing.
I'd hardly consider a murderer worth knowing.
Gee, this is rich. You actually fell for that stuff. Well, I must be a better writer than I thought. Oh, honey, there was no knife, no spies. I've never been in Singapore in my life. And all I said to that stuffed shirt captain, all I ever said to him was, good morning. Oh, well, listen, wait a minute. You believe me, don't you? You don't actually think I murdered somebody? Why, that's ridiculous. It was only a gag, a joke. All those people I made up out of my imagination.
Inspector. Inspector Bray, sir. I have looked around as the inspector has ordered.
Well?
The man is truly dead.
Dead?
Captain side?
Great heavens. You mean the guy's Oh, no, wait a minute. This is where I came in. Well, he can't be dead. I was only talking... I mean, who'd kill him?
Isn't it quite obvious, Inspector?
Oh, now, see here, you don't think that I
We'll
would...
take a look at the body. Come along, all of you. You come too, young lady. Don't let this man out of your sight.
Let go of me.
Take it
Inspector,
easy,
now,
sir.
wait a minute. I'm an American citizen. You know I couldn't do a thing like that.
Poor old chap. Well, may as well fetch the coroner.
Coroner?
This is a most serious business. It may involve us in international complications. Just when did you write this letter?
Well, this morning. I told you it was only a prank, a joke.
Yes, of course. I think we all admit that. The coincidence, however, may cause a lot of red tape.
Naturally, it would.
If I may say so, sir, I knew Mr. Hunter was writing those letters. His intentions were quite harmless. He couldn't have dreamed.
I understand. Romantic nonsense.
Oh, Princess, listen. We're both Americans, and we gotta stick together. I know I should have used better sense, but I was only trying to meet you to get you interested and make a hit, and now that...
Arrest him.
Well, wait a minute. I thought you understood.
It's nothing to do with it. I'm neither judge nor hangman.
Hang? Can I call the American consul?
I'm sorry.
Oh, but I got friends there who can vouch for me.
Wouldn't do you a bit of good.
Oh, but you've got to believe me. I had nothing to do with this murder. I wouldn't hurt a fly. I was only
I
trying
feel very sorry for you, and I believe you may be innocent. I'll try to help you.
Oh, thanks. Gee, it's swell of you to stick by me like this. I knew from the moment I saw you that you
Just a moment. Blindfold him.
Well, blindfold me? What's the idea? Whoever heard of blindfolding anybody just to take him to jail?
You're not going to the municipal jail. You're going to the house of detention for political prisoners. No one but the police knows where that is. I'm sorry.
Political... But why should I kill him? I didn't know him. He was a perfect stranger to me. Shut up, will you? I'm going mad. Go mad. But don't make such a row about it.
You'll gain nothing by shouting.
Oh, and how do you stand it? How do you keep from going mad at this?
Out!
One gets used to it after 2 or 3 months.
2 or 3? Oh, where is this place?
Nobody knows, least of all the public. Ow! There'll be a protest. Demands for its abolishment.
I've got friends back home who'll want to know where I am. My State Department will...
You were just swallowed up in the Far East. A body will be fished out of the bay. It will be identified as...
Hunter! Hunter, is that you?
Captain Fraser.
Shh! Not so loud.
But you're not dead.
Officially, yes. Got me out of a bad scrape, I can tell you.
But everybody thinks I killed you. That's why I'm here.
I know. I'm sorry for you. Believe me, I am.
But good grief, man, get me out of here. Let somebody know you're alive.
I can't. It'll mean a firing squad. For me. You're on cover too much.
Yeah, but listen.
Now I can lose myself. They think I'm dead. Honorably dead. There'll be no disgrace.
Oh, but wait a minute now. Please give me a break for the love of Mike. You gotta tell somebody. You just can't leave me in here.
Came to give you these.
Oh. Brandy. Cigarettes. What good are those at a time like...
A few comforts. The least I could do for you. Good luck, old man.
Hey, well, wait, just... Oh. Guard, jailer, get me out of here. The guy's alive. Oh, you can't do this to me. I demand my... I want to see a lawyer. Oh, he's alive, I tell you. I just saw him. Now, guard, jailer, somebody. Get me out of here. Get me out. I gotta get up.
Mr. Hunter, no need for all this excitement.
My goodness. Go mad, but don't make such a fuss about it.
Well, what's the idea?
Maybe I went too far.
But...
I'd better explain. Mr. Hunter here writes murder mysteries. He's quite well known in the States for his convincing style. But he doesn't always confine himself to writing books. Sometimes he writes letters, too.
You mean you deliberately scared me out of 10 years' growth?
I warned you, sir.
When I told Inspector Bray that you'd made him the villain, he was bound and determined to get even.
Baron, I tell Bruno von Kopke of all the infernal drivel.
Hello, everybody. Have I missed anything? I had the devil of a time to get that masquerade off, and I say I nearly ripped my trousers on that beastly wall. Have it fixed, Bray, will you?
What for? Haven't used this old trap since 1911. Tearing it down next week to build an aquarium.
And I suppose you turn out to be Scarlett O'Hara.
Well, really, after you'd murdered me so many times, I thought once more wouldn't do any harm. Too bad my brother wasn't here. He sailed on the draft for Singapore this morning.
Well, I was right about one thing. You were fighting with him about money, weren't you?
Amateur theatricals at the club. I was helping him to learn his part.
I'm certainly surprised at the Hong Kong police.
But, my dear Mrs. Osborne, I didn't dream. That is what I mean to say. Of course, I knew there was a bit of a racket.
Oh, the very idea. Keeping me in quarantine all day, making me miss my ship. What kind of consul are you? You're supposed to protect Americans.
Mrs. Osborne, we had no way of knowing this was a joke. As soon as the health authorities discovered their mistake...
Mistake?
It is my aunt.
And the Yankee consul. I'd know that Bourbon voice in a pea soup fog.
I'll show that niece of mine and everyone who's helped her in this mad escapade.
Yes, well, good night, miss. I'm glad we were able to be of service to you. Coming, Fraser?
Right.
Well, thanks for everything.
Pleasure.
No, we're not in there. We're looking in the next cell.
Goodbye, sir. Come, Sergeant. Suppose we get a drink.
I suppose.
I guess we better get going, too.
I guess we'd better head.
But there's one thing I haven't found out yet. One thing I must know.
Yes?
Moon Princess and that foolish ad I took, I asked to meet you sometime.
Well, you have?
But I don't even know your name.
Marshal Calhoun.
A beautiful name. Thanks a lot.
I like Moon Princess better.
Me.
Oh!